What's up, everybody? We are live once again with episode 78 of the Super Deformed Gamescast. As always, I am one of your hosts, John, at Mr. Megative on Twitter, as you can see on our sweet little ticker we got on the YouTube channel there. Let me know what you guys think. I think this weekend I'm going to be picking up some video encoding software and trying something different other than Google Hangouts because we hate this shit. But we wanted to do something new. We wanted to look a little more professional. And so if the layout, I said it last week, but I'll say it again. If the layout of the podcast continues to change over the next few weeks, we apologize. We're trying to find something that looks good and works really good for you guys too. But we got a good crowd on the podcast tonight. Everybody who's normally here is here. And happy to see everybody here. Post E3. And what I thought we would talk about tonight is, it's been kind of a slow news week where everybody's in that post E3 lull, and not a whole lot of news has happened this week. And I don't think anybody wants to talk about Jim Ryan.
Well, that's your journalistic outlet, and then you're guaranteed some juicy tidbits.
Yeah, I've had about enough of Jim Ryan as I can fucking take for right now. So I thought
10 reasons why Jim Ryan is the best spokesperson for your company.
Okay, like, all right, I don't get too caught up with Jim Ryan because it is a funny topic, and I would start getting carried away with it.
Wait, did he do? Wait, hold on. All I heard about was him talking about the indie highlight reels. Was there something else?
No, he's also the guy that talked about backwards compatibility and why would anyone want to play old games that look bad. It's the same guy. And then he also is the guy that came out and said, oh God, what was it? It was in between the indies and the, oh, damn it. He had another flub right before.
It was the crossplay where he said we're not supporting crossplay because we can't protect our children from the PC and Xbox gamers. And even though they already support crossplay,
won't somebody please?
And then Spencer's like, "Oh, it's okay. We'll protect the children. Don't worry."
Yeah.
Oh God, what a disaster!
That sounds pretty bad.
Have been Jim Ryan, and then it's hilarious because today's kerfuffle with the stupid Detroit Become Human channel, Quantic is one of Jim Ryan's companies that he oversees in Europe. So even that can be blamed on him if you want to stretch it just to make fun of him a little more. But Jim Ryan is the worst, and he is single-handedly handing PlayStation their worst PR since the launch of PS4.
Yep.
You mean PS3?
No, like ever since the PS4, they've had really good press and PR. They've been riding.
Oh, okay, yeah, I know what you mean.
Strong waves of it, and then in the past month, Jim Ryan has like brought back the chance of arrogant Sony by himself.
All right, no more Jim Ryan.
Impressive that one man did that.
It is impressive, yeah. But no more Jim Ryan. We've heard so much about fucking Jim Ryan. I can't take any more Jim Ryan. I want to talk about.
I still don't see the podcast on YouTube.
You don't see the podcast on YouTube?
Oh wait, no, it just showed up.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I'm looking at it right now.
There's nobody in chat besides me.
No, for some reason. So I looked at that. For some reason, it was unlisted on YouTube, and I don't know why. So
you want to restart it? Or
what? No, that's okay.
It's up now. It's up now.
Yeah, okay. Yeah, it's up now. Yeah, people start filtering.
It just wasn't for like the first 5 minutes.
Yep, there we go. Yep.
I didn't miss anything.
People are starting to filter right now. But what we're gonna
you've seen us 77 other times before.
Yeah, nothing's changed. I guarantee. So what we are going to do now is, I thought Jay had a really good idea. Since it's the it's kind of the midterms right after E3, it's middle of the year. We are going to talk about the games that have come out this year that we've loved, what we haven't liked, our disappointments, our surprises, and maybe where we see games going.
I think that's a great idea. Kind of like a mid-year game of the year look back.
Yeah, I agree. No, I think it's awesome. So, and I thought we would start, and and the podcast might be a little shorter, not maybe an hour, simply because I don't know if we can fill a whole hour with it, or an hour and a half, but who knows? Maybe we can. I like to think that we can. But so I thought that we would start off talking about what we've loved this year, and I don't know. Fuck it, dude. Who wants to kick us off? Jeff, you want to go first?
Yeah. Well, so this year I've played a lot of kind of a mix of old and new stuff. Just catching up on some backlogs, some games that are like 20 years old. But I guess the first thing I played this year was Final Fantasy IX, which I kind of talked about on here before, but definitely really like that. I played that not long after playing 15 just because I like parts of 15. The combat was pretty fun, and there's some cool moments, but like I just kind of was craving a really traditional JRPG after that. So I went back and played 9. That's really good. If anyone is a fan of the series and hasn't played it, I definitely think it's probably in my. I think it's my second favorite. I would say it's probably in the top 5.
It's
from what
definitely
I've
top
seen.
5.
Yeah. It's different. It doesn't take itself as seriously as a lot of the other ones. It's kind of quirky and got a different art style, which
I mean, that's like the
doesn't work for some people.
But like none of them take themselves super seriously.
No, but I guess I mean like
Final Fantasy 4, you're riding a whale to the moon. Like they've always been a little silly.
It feels a little lighter than something like 8 or 7, where it's kind of the protagonists are a little bit more angsty.
They've always, I don't know, yeah, they've always tried to balance that. I know what you mean. I get what you mean. There's definitely a different tone.
It's mostly superficial in terms of the aesthetics and stuff. I guess the story still
was that it was a throwback to like the formula of 4 and 6 with the kingdoms and the crystals and the everything. And it felt like it was a PS1 era,
like a remake or a reboot.
Well, it felt like a Super Nintendo era Final Fantasy in the PS1. I felt it very refreshing. It's my favorite of the PS1 trilogy.
Yeah,
it was definitely a breath of fresh air after 8, because 8.
Yeah,
8 was
It's my favorite Final Fantasy.
8 is it really? 8 is your favorite?
Yeah.
Wow. I don't see it happen that often.
I do like 8. I just don't like the draw system. Actually, there's stuff I don't like, but I do think 8 is a good game, Jay. You have my sword.
I see a lot more love for 8 now than when it first came out.
I like 8 not from like a game perspective, but like more from like a philosophical perspective. I guess it's really weird. Like I think it's just like this like 180-degree flip from like 7.
There's no other Final Fantasy that has a story like 8.
Yeah, like
a fucking ridiculous, nonsensical story about orphans who don't remember each other. And...
At least it's unique. They didn't just go to the crystals.
I don't really want to get into this tonight.
8 has triple triad.
I mean, you can't talk shit about triple triad, but yeah.
All right, Jeff. What else, man?
What else did I play? So then, I guess my next game was Resident Evil 7, which I didn't seem to love as much as a lot of people. It was fine, I guess. It was good.
Oh,
it was I call it Resident Evil 7 out of 10 because I feel like it's
a
it's a solid 7 out of 10. It's not bad. I think it starts very strong, but all of my most memorable moments happen in the first 2 hours.
I mean, a 7 out of 10 is a hell of a lot better than Resident Evil 6 was.
Yeah,
that's for damn sure.
So to give perspective, I haven't played 4 or 5 or 6. I know 4 is great. I know I love 4. But I don't have that disappointment of 5 and 6 to kind of come off of.
I mean, 5 wasn't that bad. 5 was like, it was only disappointing because 4 is literally the best action game ever made. So.
Yeah, so
I think like a lot of like people love Force Awakens so much because they hated the prequels and like, oh, at least we just got something competent.
Yeah.
But I don't have that with
a remake of Episode 3.
Yeah.
So Jeff, if you don't mind, I want to address something that Enter the Dragon Punch said in chat just now. He said, looking back on RE7, it's a fun game, but man, it doesn't feel like RE that much in hindsight. I disagree.
I meant Episode 4.
I disagree with that completely. Like, it felt more, even though it was first person, it felt more like a Resident Evil game to me than any Resident Evil game I've played since. I mean, it felt more like an RE game to me than 4 did, and 4 is a fucking fantastic game. I mean, 4 is like the widely considered to be the pinnacle of the series. But go ahead, man.
I guess what I would say is it has Resident Evil. It has all the things you look for in Resident Evil. It's got different weapons you find. It's got puzzles. It's got the chest. It's got the safe room music. But I just think the general tone, not that it's bad. I'm fine with the serious tone and the kind of more, I don't know how to describe it. Resident Evil always, from the very first one, had a campy B-movie, cheesy quality to it. Whether intentional or not, it was always there, at least in the ones I played 1, 2, 3, Code Veronica. From what I've seen of 5 and 6, it went even more over the top. But I think this one, it just feels different. And I could kind of see people saying it doesn't feel like Resident Evil if you're talking just from a tone perspective.
I mean, if you play 1 through 6 sequentially, like by the end of 5 and 6, it gets pretty goddamn ridiculous. I mean, obviously, 5, you've seen the boulder punch from 5.
Yeah, so
like,
good.
So there you go. You have Chris punch the boulder at the end of 5. Resident Evil 6, you have like that T-Rex guy who like comes back to life like 9 times.
9 different, dude. Like this is my final form. Like,
and what did they do with Wesker? Like Wesker went from being kind of this shady guy to like.
Wesker is the best part of Resident Evil 5.
Yeah. Wesker went from being like a STARS operative, and what's amazing is that in the first Resident Evil game, he talked like this, and all of a sudden he's got a British fucking accent, and he's wearing a long like. Wesker became Agent Smith.
Quite an arc without actually.
He became Agent Smith from The Matrix, and then he punched a nuclear weapon.
Yeah, he does become Agent Smith, doesn't he?
He does. You shoot at him, and he's like fucking dodging bullets and shit. And then he punches a nuclear weapon on a volcano, and becomes and then he turns into like black slime Terminator. That's what happens.
They took it in a weird direction
but
the last few games.
Resident Evil 7, honestly, like, is still my game of the year so far. Simply because I'm a huge Resident Evil fan, and I hate 5 was fine. I hated 6 with fucking passion.
I'm sorry to tell you this: you're not allowed to have a game of the year that isn't Breath of the Wild. I've been told, I've been told by the internet. It's just it's false. It's fake news.
I mean, Horizon is a better video game than Breath of the Wild, but
also true.
You know, I'm not taking anything away from Breath of the Wild. It's a straight up 9 out of 10. Well, I've got 90 something odd hours of Breath of the Wild, but Horizon is simply a better video game. And that's just my opinion. But Resident Evil 7 really ignited that love of the series for me. And as far as tone goes, I'm not sure I agree with that. I mean it's. You know, the first few Resident Evils were campy, right? And this, you've got very clear influences from, like, you know, pulp horror films and camp horror. Like, there's a lot of Evil Dead in there. A lot of Texas Chainsaw Massacre, you know, with the family sitting around the table and cannibalism.
Texas Chainsaw, yeah.
Yeah, and I really picked up on those vibes. And people say, oh, Resident Evil 7 wasn't scary. It fucking freaked me out. Like
it's certainly the scariest one since at least 3.
Yeah.
Yeah, like
that's also really subjective, right? Like,
yeah, of course.
I don't know. I didn't find it that scary, but I also didn't find any of the Resident Evil games that scary. I find Silent Hill way more scary.
Silent Hill is fucking scary. So who else? So has anybody on this panel played Resident Evil 7 and not enjoyed it at all?
It's all right.
Jay, let's hear it, man.
I played the first 2 hours. I think my problem with Resident Evil 7 is at times it doesn't feel like a Resident Evil game. It doesn't really have the campiness to it, and I feel like it's just taken like straight up like serious horror vibe to it, which I don't really enjoy. Like I've always enjoyed Resident Evil games because they're kind of like campy.
But see, like I don't get how people say it has a lack of camp. Like within the first 10 minutes, your fucking hand gets cut off. And then you pick it up and shove it in your pocket and walk up the stairs.
Oh, okay, yeah, like, that part's pretty ridiculous.
It's ridiculous, but it's not necessarily. I don't know how to describe it.
And then you get it stapled back on.
Spoilers.
Oh yeah, get the fuck out of here.
But as I said before, I haven't really played it too much, so I can't really say too much about it. Well, but it's definitely better than 6.
That's not a hard.
That's
bar
not really a high bar,
it's
man.
Definitely not. It's definitely
not. So I don't know. Like I feel like so far this year, I feel like this has been a great fucking year for video games, right?
It's been the best that I can remember. Like there's a couple other big ones like 2007 and some of the 90s, but man,
98, 2001.
Bar none, this is the best year of this generation. But
yeah, by far.
There is so much.
If Mario Odyssey comes out this year and is amazing, how does this stack up to the greatest years of all time?
It's in the pantheon.
It's up there. I mean, think about it. No, I'm sorry, Matt. Go ahead.
No, I'm just saying, like, I think you can make a very strong argument for this being one of the top years of games of all time.
I mean, if Wolfenstein doesn't disappoint, we're about to get another one of the best FPS campaigns ever made.
I mean,
so what are the two previous best? Is it 2007 and 98 are the ones?
Yeah,
well, I would also contend 94.
94 was really
94
good.
Was good. Yep.
There was some Final Fantasy 6.
Yeah.
So
those two alone. But then you also have Sega in their prime.
So, like, I don't know. Let's examine what we've had this year, right? And that would be an easy way to talk about surprises, disappointments, and games we love. So we've already talked about Resident Evil 7, and we're just talking the first half of the year, right? Like it's the back end of the year. So I'm sorry, it's the front end of the year. You've got Resident Evil 7, Gravity Rush 2.
I've got them all here. We've got.
Go ahead. Yeah. Let's come off.
Not in any order. So far released: Resident Evil 7, Breath of the Wild, Horizon Zero Dawn, Mass Effect Andromeda, Prey, For Honor, Ghost Recon Wildlands, Injustice 2, Nier Automata, Neo, Gravity Rush 2, Halo Wars 2, Rime,
Ghost Recon, For
Persona
Honor,
5.
Persona 5.
Yakuza 0.
That's a meaty
And
fucking
then,
list.
that's not even including indie games like Night in the Woods and Cosmic Star Hero.
Cosmic Star Hero was fucking fantastic.
Battlegrounds taking the world by storm.
Yeah.
Dirt 4 for racing games, really well received. What Remains of Edith Finch.
Mario Kart 8 Deluxe.
Yeah.
And then you have there's so much coming out too, just not even just AAA stuff. But
Okay,
let
me ask you this: when was the last time? And then I'm going to tell you about a game that really pissed me off and disappointed me. And I know you guys are going to disagree with me. But what was the last time? What was the last year we got a mainline Mario and Zelda title in the same year? I'm not talking like Four Swords or A Link Between Worlds on 3DS. I'm talking a console Zelda game and a console Mario game.
I don't think it's ever happened.
I don't think so either.
That blows my fucking mind. In the same year.
I mean, I'm gonna start.
I want to say
I'm gonna start looking some stuff up.
I mean, there's only one per console, so it shouldn't be that hard. Like
the Wii U didn't have a Zelda game, right? Like not a true one.
No, yeah.
Which one?
The Wii U.
No,
it didn't.
Well, it had Breath of the Wild, but
it has Breath. Yeah, but it was mostly like remasters.
Super Mario Brothers 2 and the original Legend of Zelda came out in the same year.
Yeah.
That's a long fucking time.
I think it's been 29 years since Zelda and Mario came out.
That's fucking insane. I'm gonna tweet
and
that out.
It was literally the very first Zelda game came out with the second Mario game.
So we're talking. We've talked about all these games that have come out, and there have been a few that I was looking forward to that really disappointed me. And I think one that jumps out at me immediately, and I know I'll get some pushback on this, is Prey.
Ah, damn it! That was what I was gonna guess.
Prey. I really tried. I really tried to love this game. I played for about 5 or 6 hours. But I realized that at the end of that time period, I was forcing myself to love it. I was forcing myself to push through it. And I'm at a point in my life where I don't want to play for hours and hours and hours and say, okay, well, it's going to get good. It gets good 10 hours in. I don't have time for that. I thought the combat was rote and just unwieldy. The gunplay was terrible. I hated trying to run around and catch mimics with my wrench. It ran like shit on the PS4, and then whatever Arcane Studios did to that patch made it run even worse. I don't. People compare it to BioShock, and they say it's BioShock in space, and I'm like, I don't see that. I don't get it. I don't get the BioShock comparisons at all. So if somebody could explain to me how this game is anywhere remotely close to BioShock, I would really appreciate it.
The immersive storytelling. Most of the story in BioShock comes from conversations and audio files. It's just that it's the work of the genre.
Yeah, I was gonna say, I think for these kind of games, for a lot of, even though the combat is important, what the game really wants to hook you in with is the freedom of choice and the world. So if you're not invested in the setting and the premise, the characters, the story, and if you're not very interested in being, if you're not really enthralled by how much freedom it gives you and how you approach certain objectives, how you complete missions, if you're looking for a more straightforward path, or if that other stuff just doesn't speak to you, then all you're going to have to focus on is maybe the negatives, or like you said, the combat. So
Sam Tolbert in chat says that Prey is his game of the year so far, and that's the thing, right? That's kind of the nice thing about games, is that we can sit here and we can disagree on them. I did not think Prey was a good video game, but I'm not going to sit here and say that it was shit. I'm not going to sit here and say it was garbage, because obviously there's a large contingent of people out there who really enjoyed it. People right here on this podcast, people in chat. I guess I was more disappointed than anything else. Not in the game itself, but that I didn't love it as much as a bunch of other people did. Does that make any sense?
Mm-hmm.
Like I was sitting there watching people gush over this game on Twitter and YouTube and on forums, and I sat there and I really tried to pick it apart and understand and I guess make myself love this game because I wanted to be involved in those conversations and I wanted to talk about it. I wanted to have those discussions about what I thought was going on, and I just couldn't, for the love of me, couldn't bring myself to care one bit about the story or the characters. I didn't care about Morgan Yu, and I honestly don't even really know why. It just, from Jump Street, the game just did not appeal to me across the board. Not just combat, but I thought the Talos Station was a poor man's ripoff of Rapture. I thought that I thought the combat was stale and unfun. I thought the majority of the enemies you fight are just look like Spider or like Venom symbiotes jumping around. I didn't feel like there's any creativity at all. I mean, then again, I only got 5 or 6 hours in, so maybe there's some really amazing enemy design later on.
I don't want to make excuses. As someone who's primarily a PC gamer, a lot of times there's been a lot of cases where I've played a game on computer and on console and found one to have extremely enjoyable combat and the other to not. And while I haven't played Prey, from what I understand, there is input lag on the PS4. There's frame pacing problems. Combine that with the general lower responsiveness of a controller compared to a mouse and keyboard. I think this is one of the games that, again, not to excuse them, but was clearly not designed around being played on a console. And I think your evidence of how damaging that is, because I've heard people who've played it on both, and the responsiveness alone on a mouse makes the combat 100 times better.
Yeah, you're not the only person. And Sonny on Twitter has mentioned that he loves playing Dishonored 2 with a mouse and keyboard much more than he does with a controller. So I mean that makes sense. I mean it's that sort of combat lends itself better to a mouse and a keyboard, I think, than a controller. So and plus the PS4 version was hit with some really bad lag, or not even lag, but input lag. I'm sorry. Really, really bad. Like, it just did not perform well on the PS4 Pro, or I don't know about the base PS4, but I know it stunk it up on the PS4 Pro. So I don't know about any other platforms. Although I do hear that the Xbox One got the superior version on consoles.
I haven't played Prey, but from what I've heard and listened to on podcasts, it's either Prey's a love or hate game, and it's based on the world. Really, it sounds like the combat's not the best. It's like you have to get yourself like immersed in that world, and if you don't, you're probably not going to enjoy your time with Prey.
Exactly.
ETDP, or I guess Dragon Punch in the chat, he brought up something I see the same way as Nier. With Nier, it seems like people either loved it or they just did not like it. I don't see a lot of people in the middle. It either like spoke to them or they just found it really repetitive and boring.
I'm actually in my playthrough of Nier right now.
I'm actually in the middle on that one. I'm kind of like I wasn't head over heels in love with it. But
did you finish it?
I did, actually. I did. I finished 2 of the endings. And
but you didn't really finish the game.
Yeah, I didn't see. Yeah, so
I like all 5 endings to.
And that's the thing, man. Is I was like, this is great. I'm enjoying the combat. Obviously, Platinum Games does. Platinum does really good combat. The game ran really well. I had some issues with the character and level design. Everything was fucking gray. And it ran really well. It ran really fucking well, but it didn't look great. The world didn't capture my imagination like I was hoping it would. And the story is, I understand that you're supposed to play it. You're supposed to get all 5 major endings before you actually understand what's happening. But the story was so fucking out there and difficult to follow that I found myself just playing for the combat, which was awesome. The combat in the game is fucking great. I finished the first ending and the second ending, and then I was like, you know what? I don't really care enough about the story to finish it. I've put 20 hours into it. It took me 10 hours to play through the innings that I played through, and that was fine for me. If a story isn't grabbing me, that there are just too many other games for me to worry about that right now. So yeah, I guess I'm one of those few who's in the middle on Nier. I thought it was fine.
My issue of Nier Automata right now, I haven't beaten it yet. I'm attempted to play through it again. It just hasn't really pulled me in like the first Nier did. I felt like the first Nier is easier to follow. Like I said before, this one's just kind of like all over the place. You don't really have like a clear objective. You're just kind of thrown onto the planet,
which is weird. Like I don't hear that often because I did not think that the first Nier was an incredibly well received game.
Yeah, I really enjoyed the first Nier a lot actually. Like I didn't stop playing it, but when I started playing it, like this one though, like I've taken like a couple days break to like play it again, whatnot. It just hasn't grabbed me, but I haven't gotten to it's like plot twist or anything yet. So maybe that's why.
So I think it's time to talk about Mass Effect Andromeda.
You know what? May I? Because I think I might be one of the ones that enjoys it the most.
Please, go right ahead.
I think it's safe to say I've enjoyed this game more out of all of us. But even then, it never touches the heights of the originals. The more I play, the more I realize the side quests are largely superfluous and amount to nothing more than fetch quests.
Are you talking about all this? Does that include the loyalty quests?
No, those are missions. I'm talking just the 300 plus side quests in the game that are basically go to this point, interact with something or kill a group of enemies, and then return. And I feel like...
Can I chime in there?
Sure.
I'm with you. I like the game. I don't think I like it quite as much as you. I think it's a good game. I stopped playing after 20, 30 hours because of all the patches and updates that are in, so I was just kind of like, I'll come back to it. But do you find the quests, it's not just that they're bad, they're very strangely designed and inconsistent. Like, it feels like the quests were developed by different people. Some of them just make you go to like 10 different, like, you're all over the place planets, and it's like, it just doesn't feel, in other games it feels natural and organic. It's like, oh, here, and then this one is just, it's so like such a mishmash of everything, and there's no real consistency or flow to it.
The side quests feel like busy work.
Yeah.
And the problem is, like, they don't give you any rewards worth it. So I went from doing my normal, I like the 100% every Mass Effect and do everything, to I'm just going to do the ones that are interesting and power through the missions. But like the loyalty missions, they're fun. They're just what you hope for. If you enjoy the characters, you'll enjoy their loyalty mission. And for the most part, I dig the new cast. I enjoy the team that you're with. I enjoy the new alien races you interact with. I like the battle system is bar none the best in the franchise, with how fast and quick it is, and the jump jets, and the being able to swap powers on the fly instead of having to respec. I love the freedom the battle gives you. It's like, I guess it's a lot like how John feels about Nier, in that the combat kept you going. The story never hits the heights, and when all is said and done, Andromeda ended up being it's easily the worst of the four, but I don't think it's at the level of bad that everyone else thought.
See, I'm at this weird place now where I have not played it, and part of me wants to, but the other part of me is afraid to, because Mass Effect 2 specifically is one of my favorite games of all time. But I already know that this is not as good, doesn't even come anywhere close to Mass Effect 3, let alone Mass Effect 2. And I am afraid that when I play Andromeda, and you guys tell me if this makes any sense or not, but I am afraid that when I play, if I play Andromeda, that I am going to, my own personal bias from having heard everybody's pretty worldwide disappointment over the game is going to taint my own enjoyment of the game, and I will end up enjoying it even less than I would have.
I mean, you already play a lot of games, dude. Do you really have to play another Mass Effect?
Yeah,
there's a lot of games coming out. That's like, do you really need to play this one?
I mean, I play so many fucking games,
That's
shit.
what I love about 2017 is there is no reason to force yourself through a game that you just don't like because there's nothing else to play. There is no drought this year. Even the months that are typically slow, May, June, July, are stacked with like enough AAA releases mixed with a ton of great indies that there is no excuse anymore. Like, there is no time when you should be forcing yourself to play something you don't like.
And a bunch of like remakes and remasters too.
Exactly.
I would tell people to handle 2017 games like you should handle relationships. You don't settle. If you're gonna play a game, you should be absolutely in love with that game, because If you aren't, there's something else that you would like more.
That's a really good way to put it.
100%. Like there's no reason to just play something that's okay.
So,
and I think Mass Effect Andromeda is a good game.
May I recommend to everyone, now is the time, since you have nothing better to play, to dig into Star Ocean Integrity and Faithlessness.
Oh, Brandon, no.
You will not be disappointed.
I think it's like $15 on Amazon now.
Don't believe his
lies.
lies.
Role-playing game.
What year did that come out, Brandon? What time did that come out?
Yeah, this is
that you have nothing else to play. Like
actually,
what?
I
somebody queue up the what year is it?
Overwatch for a full week to beat last summer to beat Star Ocean 5.
Okay,
actually, my bad. It's $17.20 on Amazon right now.
That is $18 too much.
So since Brandon spoke up, and speaking of games that we love this year, Brandon, let's hear. What are your thoughts on PlayerUnknown Battlegrounds, my man?
Yeah, that's the game that I have to talk about this year.
Yeah, let's hear it. I want to hear it.
We're in June and I'm still just playing Overwatch every day. So, but Battlegrounds is like the one game that took my attention away for a little while. Because I played other survival games. I played DayZ when it was a mod. Like I bought Arma 2 for DayZ back in 2012 or whatever. And I just didn't.
War Z, and I bought the DayZ standalone, and I bought H1Z1. So
I haven't played any of these.
I didn't play any of those either. Because I did not enjoy DayZ when it was first a mod, and like I totally get what people loved about that because like I was watching Twitch streams of it, and like,
the concept is really fucking awesome.
Yeah, it was too slow paced for me.
It seems like what Battlegrounds did is it just takes rid of all the tedium.
I mean,
and
pretty
just
much
gives you the good stuff.
So there was a thread on NeoGAF today where so apparently Battlegrounds has sold 4 million copies on PC in early access, like which is fucking insane. I think it's at $30 a pop. Obviously, it's coming to consoles later this year.
Guys, hey, Brandon, real quick, I want to shout out Dan in chat who's going home Saturday.
Nice, congratulations,
Dan! Awesome, buddy. Could not be happy for you, man. We are so happy that you are you are well and on the mend, man. And seriously, dude, we love you, and we absolutely could not be happier that you're better, man. We were all really pulling for you. So that's awesome, dude. Congratulations, man.
What's the first game you're gonna play when you're home?
Yeah, tell us the first game you're gonna play when you get home, man. But Brandon, please continue it.
Yeah, so like I mean, so my experience with DayZ is that I was watching the Twitch streamers have all these like great, spontaneous moments, and I downloaded it myself and I jumped in. I played with friends. I convinced another friend to buy Arma 2, and we jumped in and we walked around talking on Skype for maybe 2 hours and did nothing. We got nothing done. So then I played it by myself for a little while. I was like, all right, let me see if I can have a better solo experience. So I jump in, I walk around for maybe about an hour. I did find some stuff. I was starting to find weapons and stuff. And then I was trying to walk up a tree house or something, and the steps glitched out, and I broke my leg and died on the spot. I was like, and I never played it again. It's just like it would literally complete waste of time. So
I bought that game. It's sitting on Steam, and yet I've never been able to jump in with any of you guys.
I have been dying to play Battlegrounds with you guys, but every time I have now, I got a refund, and then I said, "Fuck it, I'm going to try it again." Every time I download this game, it will not launch.
They've patched it a lot. They have improved the performance significantly in the last like 2 months.
Yeah, that motherfucker.
PC gaming, man. You just got to buy an Xbox and then buy it on Xbox.
I'm very interested to see how that game will run on console.
I'll buy on Xbox.
It still has a long way to go.
I'll let you guys know.
I thought it was an Xbox exclusive, but it's actually coming out on PS4 too.
They always said it was coming out on PS4.
Launch exclusive, I say in quote marks, is only because Xbox has early access.
Yeah.
No,
it seems like the Long Dark, which I play quite a bit of, it's been on Xbox for like a year or two, but it's in PS4 the day it actually releases, because that just means it's out of early access. There's no deal.
Do you remember last year's E3 darling We Happy Few?
Yeah.
Oh God, yeah.
Yeah, it hit Xbox early access, and that's its exclusive period. But once it's out, it's gonna hit PlayStation.
Well, Jay, whenever you pick it up on Xbox, let us know how about the perfect pixels and the terrifying clarity.
I'll let you guys know how my PlayStation 1 experience is.
But yeah, so I mean, what Battlegrounds does over traditional survival games is just kind of crank up the pacing to 15, not even 11, because you're finding weapons within 15, 30 seconds of hitting the ground.
that's what intrigues me is like, it takes like this whole like survival concept, but like it condenses it, like it forces it to be like fast paced.
I mean, yeah, like if you win a match, you're still only playing for like 15 minutes.
Yeah, like, and that's what's really like lure me in, because like games like Daisy and whatnot just seem really like slow and tedious for me.
Me too. I tried.
So,
I can't.
Yeah.
I did nothing. It was a walking simulator for me.
I generally can't play games like that. I can't. Which is, you know, and speaking of games that I can't play, here's, you know what, here's another big disappointment for me this year. Was Friday the 13th. Anybody who
it's not the Adam Sessler game.
Yeah, and I don't know, maybe that's why
he had something to do with the promotion of the Kickstarter.
Yeah,
I published my review on the website and put it up on OpenCritic, and of course I gave it a point. I gave it a half a star out of 5, and then I noticed that Adam Sessler has me blocked, so I don't know. But I no, seriously, I was like, oh, why does Adam Sessler have me blocked?
Well, Jonathan Blow has me blocked, so don't feel bad.
Who does?
Jonathan Blow.
What did you tweet to Jonathan Blow?
Yeah, he's like he's supposed to be a super nice guy.
I don't remember at all.
He always came across to me as kind of a dick.
Well, it's Twitter. It's very easy to take things out of context. And just...
But like anybody who read my Friday the 13th review knows that it was my least favorite game this year, and it's one of the worst games I've ever played in my entire life. And I am a huge fan of pulp horror and slasher films, and so I was really looking forward to Friday the 13th, and I streamed it, and I knew within 10 minutes that this was going to be something special, and not in a good way. How anybody can pay money for that pile of garbage is beyond me, much less enjoy it. Like, and I don't feel bad shitting all over Friday the 13th, because it is the video game equivalent of genital warts. Like, playing this game will make you a terrible person. That's how much I hate Friday the 13th.
Asynchronous multiplayer is like something that sounds better than it always is.
Well, dude, like...
Let me ask you, do you think any of the problems can be patched out? Is it possible in a year from now this game is maybe decent? Okay, so no. And the reason I say that is because there's only so much you can do with the formula, right? Like, I don't mind the game looks like crap. Like it looks like crap. But I don't need it to visually stun me, right? Like, that's just one more thing that sucks about it. But the core problem of the game is every single match devolves into hiding under a bed from Jason until he evolves to the point where he can get, because the longer the match goes on, the more powers Jason gets. So, like, eventually he'll be able to, like, sense your fear, and he can see you through walls, and then he'll see you hiding under the bed, and he can literally just teleport right to where you are and fucking kill you. And if Jason gets eyes on you, it is almost fucking impossible to escape him. Like you're going to die. Because none of these guys have worked out in their entire lives, and their stamina runs out in about 5 seconds. After that, they just kind of limp along, and Jason just kind of toys with you. Plus, the game is so glitchy. Like, I hid in a fucking cabinet, and no matter what cabinet I hid in, part of my face and my feet and my hands were clipping out, so no matter where I fucking hid, part of my body was clipping out, and Jason could just see me. And I was like, why am I bothering? Why am I playing this? But I'd be like, the core gameplay hook is the problem, Jeff. That's the real problem. You can't make that fun. The only way the game was ever actually enjoyable for me was when I played as Jason, which in about 7 hours of me playing the games, I wanted to play it enough so that my review wouldn't be disingenuous. In about 7 hours of playing, I was Jason twice. And that's just not good enough. And Jason is a power fantasy. Like, he's virtually there's a way to kill him. He's virtually unstoppable, but it's just not fun. It's not fucking fun. It's not a fun game, and no amount of graphical polish or bug fixing can make that gameplay hook anything enjoyable at all, in my opinion.
I don't see how they could make it fun either. Like, what?
Sorry, that was kind of a rant, you guys. But
I mean, well, the counselors never win. It's like, what's the mean? I don't know.
Can I jump in and talk about a game from this year?
Yes, real quick. I want to shout out to our buddy Matt Piscatella from NPD, who's in chat. What's up, man?
I actually just asked him how does it feel to be missing a T from his name.
I just saw that.
But no, like I could talk about games that everyone knows, like Breath of the Wild, Horizon, blah blah blah. But one of the best games I've played this year is one that people still haven't really given a shot because it's cursed with that early access tag, even though it just doesn't feel like it. And that's the indie game Dead Cells.
Oh, I've heard a lot about this actually.
This game is easily in my top 3 of this whole year.
That's like that roguelike Castlevania, right?
Yep, it's a roguelike, half Metroid, half Castle. The gameplay is pure Castlevania style, but with an upgrade system, kind of like an RPG. Would I prefer not to be a roguelike and just be a tight, focused experience? Yes, but man, do they dole out enough permanent upgrades and enough like build up that each run feels like you achieve something, which I feel is a problem with a lot of roguelikes. Is that when you die, you feel like you've kind of just wasted your entire hour is and then
gone.
They just added a huge new update patch that adds a ton of new features like elemental attacks and interacting with the environment. Like now when you use the electric whip in water, you electrocute everything around you. They have spells that they didn't have, spells and buffs and status effects. And the game from its new patch to when it launched is almost entirely different. And it's just got that addictive quality and very short load time so that when you die, boom, you're back in the game. There's no waiting period. And you always feel like you're working towards something. And when you finally beat that boss or beat that level and hit that next checkpoint, you truly feel accomplished. And then when you get your ass kicked, you know it's your fault. It's got, you'd like this, John, because it's Castlevania combat, but with a Dark Souls mentality.
I have heard that. That really fucking appeals to me.
You learn your enemies, you learn their tactics, you learn when to avoid them in certain groups, and when you die, it's because you fucked up, not because the game was cheap.
So I have heard that this is coming to PS4, Xbox One, and the Switch.
Correct.
When is my question? Because I'm not a PC master race guy.
They said it will be coming to console after the game is out of early access. They're not going to release it on console until the game's done. So
Boom,
that's
just give me an unfinished game.
I couldn't wait on this because this was my favorite game of PAX. It went from a game I'd never heard of to playing it at PAX to it shooting up to my top list to buying it the day it came out. It's my first early access game I've ever bought and played extensively outside of PlayerUnknown, which I technically haven't played yet, so I don't count. But Dead Cells is severely one of the best games I've played this year, followed by probably Hollow Knight, which is a game that's been in the works for a long time. It's another Metroidvania game with a beautiful hand-drawn art style and another like high level of challenge. And Enter the Dragon Punch in chat, and I have been just gushing about it on Twitter.
Yeah, he doesn't like Dead Cells. It seems though.
He doesn't. But to be fair, he gave it a shot, and that's all I can ask of somebody. You don't have to love every game. You just got to give it a fair shake. So, but we are both on par with Hollow Knight. But Dead Cells for me is one of the greatest games I've played this year. And in a year like 2017, I feel like that says a lot.
So, yeah, no, I'm really looking forward to especially since I love, like you said, Castlevania and Dark Souls mesh together really appeals to me. It's why I loved Assault and Sanctuary so much.
So Jeff just posted a video of Nex Machina, and
oh, dude, you need to pick that up.
Do I need to get this game?
Yes, you do. So I think the worst thing
it's real good.
That is
have online co-op because the game's so good.
That is massively disappointing.
I mean, I like to play twin stick shooters solo. Anyway.
Dude, Nex Machina. I played for about. Go ahead, Jeff.
No, I was just gonna say, but that's kind of like, I don't know why so many are surprised. Resogun didn't have online co-op. I know Alien Nation did just because of the nature of it, but I feel like at least half their games, if not more, are just local co-op only.
Yeah,
I mean, it's so good. It's so good. I'm not gonna take away from the game for it.
My favorite gaming buddies.
Well, this looks like so much fun right now.
Oh, dude, it's so good. It's so fucking good. It's basically like it's Resogun, but you're a guy on the ground. And I mean,
I platinumed Resogun.
So did I. That was one of the
best games I've ever played.
That was a tough platinum. Resogun was a tough fucking
actually, you
platinum.
know what? No, I didn't really have all that hard of a time with Resogun for a plat.
Yes, and to answer Enrique's question in chat, yes, Nex Machina is fucking outstanding. You need to go buy it right now, especially if you like Housemarque games and twin stick shooters, because nobody does twin stick shooters like Housemarque does. That game is not disappointing me at all.
I platinumed the Super Stardust as well. That one was really easy, way too easy.
But as far as we've been talking about games that have disappointed us and games that we've liked this year. But you know what is really what really surprised me and what I ended up absolutely loving was a console. The Nintendo Switch came out this year and has literally
Never heard of it.
I know, right? It's a small indie console by an unknown developer called Nintendo and up and coming bunch of guys. But it has supplanted the PS4 as my favorite console this gen. I love everything about it, and I wish I could play every fucking game on it. I want to play every game on my Switch. Because, a lot has been said about this, but the ability to play a console... I'm looking at it right now. I love you so much. The ability to play a console quality game on my TV and then immediately, seamlessly pull it out of the dock and go upstairs and sit down in bed and I'm right where I left off blows my... Like, this is the dream. This is the dream for me. I have wanted this for years. And I cannot fucking wait for games like Mario, for games like Metroid 4 Prime, which is coming out next year. You guys fucking sit here and watch. Games like Mario Kart and Cave Story is fucking fantastic if you guys haven't played it. But
you know what? I want to give you props though, because as much as you love your Switch, you don't join in with the every single person in every comment of every game announcement, which is where's the Switch version?
Where is the Switch
version?
Yeah,
that's pointless. And I'm not going to sit here and give the Switch a pass. I mean, there's a lot of things.
Where is the Switch version of Crash Bandicoot Insane Trilogy?
I mean, I'm not going to give the Switch a pass, right? Like, there's a lot that's missing from it. Like, there's there's no voice chat right now. No virtual console. There's no way to back up your saves. I mean, these are all things that need to be fixed without doubt. So I'm not going to sit here and give it a free pass. But as far as just a when you're looking at ease of play and innovation and just it's just a fun. I love to hold it. It feels good. It feels premium, not like the 3DS. And it's just an amazing piece of tech, and I love it. Now, but I know that not everybody
doesn't feel that bad, does it?
I mean, dude, comparatively, like I mean,
I have a 3DS XL, I guess, or whatever.
I have one too.
I think it's pretty comfortable, but I haven't held a Switch, so I don't know.
But like, what I mean, compared to a Switch, dude, like the 3DS feels like baby's first console.
Yeah.
But I know that Jeff has a different opinion on the Switch, and I'd like to hear yours, Jeff.
Well, I feel like there's no conversation about how good the Switch is that doesn't somehow involve its portability, and I just don't like. I drive to work, so I don't have a commute, so I don't play portable games on the go. I don't play games at work because I'm either working or on my lunch. I'm usually doing stuff. And otherwise, I'm at home. And then when I'm at home, I just want to play on my TV. I don't want to hunch over like a couch. I don't have kids or anything that hogs the TV from me. Like, I can basically play when I want. So it's just my particular lifestyle. I think maybe the Switch doesn't speak to me the way it does to some people. But that said, I do like the system. I like the UI. Everything feels quick and snappy. It's great hardware. The screen is great. The Pro controller, which I use, is great. But to me, it's just another system. It's no different than my PS4 or my Xbox. They're all in my entertainment center. They're all hooked up to through my receiver with surround sound, and I'm just waiting for the games that speak to me. I'm a single player guy. I'm not really big into multiplayer competitive. I never gave a shit about Smash. I don't give a shit about ARMS. I don't really care about Splatoon. It's great that people like those. They seem like good games, like well made and polished, but they're just not for me. I'm waiting. Like, I love Breath of the Wild. I'm waiting for that next big single player, like something I can just sink 60 hours into and just get lost in a world.
So that game is Mario, right?
Yeah, but that's the thing. It's like Zelda and then Mario. Then we're not getting either of those for another 5 years.
Oh, so Jeff.
True.
Real quick, chat says your opinions don't count.
Yeah,
I know. I'm aware of that.
Jeff, I don't know if you see this or not,
but I'll be stricken from the record.
Jeff, there's a lot of Animal Cross shit posting going on in chat right now.
That's good, because I would play 50 hours of Animal Crossing.
I would
I would
play
love it.
100 hours if Animal Crossing.
I guarantee.
And see, the great
Live,
thing about
live
Animal
for all of
Crossing
you guys.
is that I can just go to Jay's town and we can just chill. That's it. That's what
fine.
Animal Crossing is.
We'll do a
That's
podcast
basically
live
what
from my
it's
town in
done.
Animal Crossing.
I would love to see that.
Uses Animal Crossing to highlight their people that really need help socially because they can't handle real games. Animal Crossing bores me. I try every time. I own 4 different Animal Crossings, and I give it a shot every time. And God, it just bores me to tears.
I'd rather play Harvest Moon.
I have never played an
Harvest
Animal
Moon's
Crossing
great.
game, but I'd like to.
Animal Crossing wishes it was Harvest Moon levels.
See, here's the thing. I know Jeff was disappointed in the lack of Animal Crossing at E3, but I guarantee you it's coming. Like that's not even a question for me. It's just a matter of when, right? But I mean, overall, I dig the Switch so much. Brandon, you need a Switch, man. Like it's.
Do I really? What am I going to play on it?
Fucking Zelda
Yeah, but
and
we
Mario
do.
Mario
You're
Kart.
gonna play Skyrim on it, and you're going to enjoy it.
Yeah, I played Skyrim 6 years ago, and I did not like it.
I will probably fucking quadruple dip on Skyrim on the Switch, to be perfectly honest with you.
You do you, man.
Have some self-respect.
I told you. I want to play
I
fucking
actually
everything.
I love Skyrim. I bought the special edition. I was happy with it. I'm good. Like I'm good now.
I can play Oblivion on my Xbox One through the Xbox 360 backwards compatibility service, so I am satisfied.
So
Only on the Xbox ecosystem.
another game. So moving away from the Switch, and I'd like to talk about a game that absolutely blew my fucking mind this year. Was not. I figured it was going to be good. Was not expecting it to be as good as it was. Certainly was not expecting the story to blow me away like it did. Was Horizon Zero Dawn.
Yeah, I was super skeptical on the story.
I assumed that Horizon's story was going to be crap, and lo and behold,
Me too.
Well, that's what happens when you get some of the Witcher 3 people on board.
Dude, that story was fucking like. Yes, there's a big exposition, expository drop at the end, and you get a lot of story beats in the last couple hours of the game. But god damn if it's not fucking fascinating. And it's the little things about Horizon that I loved, like finding those those little audio files and text files from people who lived back before everything went to shit. And finding those viewpoints and seeing the Colorado Dome before it fucking fell to shit and was inhabited by robot dinosaurs. Like I absolutely loved that game, from the stealth to the visuals and just hiding it. Like the combat was great. Everything about the game was great. But some of my fondest memories of Horizon were just sitting on a mountain overlooking the Sun Kingdom, Meridian, like at night, and just trying to find that perfect fucking picture. Because the picture mode in Horizon is out of fucking bounds. I know some of you other guys played Horizon. I want to hear what you guys thought.
Well, Midi in chat says the lore and world building blew her away, and I agree. Like, I love the story in Horizon. I think it's a little slow for the first half. I remember my first 5 or 10 hours playing it and being like, this is good. This is fine. And then there's a part where you get to, I can't remember the name of the quest, but it's the first time. This isn't a spoiler. Then I'm giving away the name of an enemy. It's called a Deathbringer. You fight the first Deathbringer, and then there's a sort of tower that you ascend. And as you climb up it, that's when I think the story layers start to peel away. And what I love about the story is not just the main narrative. I think it's not so much what happens as to how the story is told. That's very special. And the way you find all these audio diaries and the way it's slowly revealed what happened without ever showing you a cutscene from before. You never jump back. You never get like a big straightforward thing. It gives you little bits and pieces to shape in your own head, kind of like reading a book. Like you can picture what happened, but they let you fill in the blanks with your own imagination. And I think that's what really, really made me love it so much.
Yeah,
I think that once they start hitting you with the story beats of how the world came to be, that's when the game really hooked me.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. So what Matt just put in chat, I won't, for anybody who's played it, I won't say what that means, but that moment when you find out what happened, you guys know what I'm talking about. I was just like, man, I was like, oh fuck, like if only like everything could have turned out so differently. And that's what I love about that game is that it had me thinking, you know, this entire world exists because of a choice. And
Don't give too much away. I haven't finished the game yet.
okay, yeah, I won't go any further. But Horizon is a fucking you need to put Overwatch down for a minute and go finish Horizon, my man.
Okay, I got a request. We need everyone in chat to like just find someone who can DDoS Blizzard and just take it down for a week so Brandon can play some games.
Seriously, yeah. Brandon is getting to the point where he needs an intervention. Although, Jeff, now that you've said that, there's going to be a DDoS attack on Blizzard servers next week, and people are going to say, "Oh, it's those guys in that podcast."
They can't touch me. I'm in Canada.
We'll finally get famous with our Patreon. So,
but yeah, Horizon was great. Persona 5. I don't know what's that?
I was gonna say, like, I'm kind of in the middle about Persona 5.
I love. Oh, we lost Matt. I love. There he is. I love JRPGs. I love them. Final Fantasy 15 was my game of the year last year. Fuck the haters. But I got 35 or no, not even that. I got 40 hours into Persona 5, and I just like. It's not that I didn't like it. It was when I heard it was 120 hours long. I was like, I don't have time for this right now. Like I'm gonna put this aside and come back to it later. But I don't know how I feel about that game. There's something.
And it didn't really grab me in the first like 30 hours either.
First 30 hours.
But
no,
like,
dude, this is a fucking 120-hour game, legit.
Guys, okay.
Yeah, but I mean, like, how long? I wouldn't give a game more than like maybe 15. Yeah. I guess I gave Witcher 3 25 before I gave it up. But Jesus.
But yeah, that's the thing. Like, I love JRPGs. Like, as you said, John. Like, I really loved Final Fantasy 15. I beat that game in about 40 hours. It didn't have the best story, but at least I was able to play through it and see everything I needed to see with it. In Persona 5, like in 30 hours, I only seen like a quarter of the game, maybe. And it was just that, like, in 30 hours, I just wasn't like into it, and that's why I gave it up. I understand why people like playing really long games. They feel they get like their money's worth, but
well, like I'm kind of a hypocrite, right? Because like I put 120 hours, actually 126 hours in Final Fantasy 15, right? Like I did fucking everything in that game.
My God, I finished it in 25 and was done.
Dude, I fucking
I need to go back and actually do old stuff in Final Fantasy 15.
I love Final Fantasy 15. It's the second best Final Fantasy in the series, and I won't hear anything about that. But I can hear Jeff rolling his eyes. But yeah, something about Persona 5, just like, it's not that it didn't hook me, it's not that I don't like the game, it's just that there's so, like, this is kind of like, you know, the first world problem made manifest right here, right? It's like, there are so many fucking games coming out this year. I feel like if I'm focusing, I don't have time to focus 120 hours into a game right now, because it's just it's fucking rapid fire. Every fucking week there's something coming out that I want to play. And I'm starting to fall into that JT trap of, hey, Jesse, there he is. What's up, man? I'm starting to fall into that JT trap of too many games and not enough time. And I think I need to try to slow down and enjoy the games I'm playing now, which is why I'm really enjoying Cave Story on the Switch. Fucking fantastic game. One of the best indie games ever.
Wonderful. After that, you should play Kero Blaster. It was the next game that developer made. It's on Steam for like $10. It's actually on the PSN store now.
What game?
It's really good too. Kero Blaster, I think that's what it's called.
Okay.
Yeah, dude. Yeah.
John,
go ahead, Jeff.
On top of what you're talking about, I've found a similar thing. I actually got 5 hours into Persona 5, and I just was like, it was fine, but I was like, I just knew I was like, I can't do 100 hours, because I just finished Persona 4 this year after starting it in 2012 when it came out. So I mean, I didn't play it consistently. I'd go back to it every few months, but it's too long. And what I find works really well for me is I take one, like right now I'm going through The Witcher 3 again for a replay, and I know I'm going to be putting 80, 90 hours into that. When you have these really big, long games, you kind of don't force yourself through them or dedicate fully to them. I think those work really well for your main piece, but you can complement them with lots of these. There's so many of these good smaller titles. Like among the big stuff I've been playing this year, I beat Inside for the first time. I played Ori, which was only 8 hours. You know, I've got Firewatch and Edith Finch queued up. And those are great things. You can just take a weekend, get a break from whatever you're playing, play them, and then kind of get refreshed and come back to it. And I think that works really well. And people should not get so focused on just playing one game and finishing it. Like, it's okay to, have a few things on your plate, but maybe just be careful which ones they are. Don't pick 300-hour games.
Yeah. Jeff, you've got to play Edith Finch. We can talk about it, man. Talk about a game that does not disappoint this year. Oh my lord, Edith Finch was just fucking dude. A 2 hour. You can finish a game in 2 hours, and it is a masterpiece in every sense of the word. Like, you think about games as art. And Edith Finch.
I have it installed. I haven't played it yet, but I have it installed.
Dude,
same here. I'm just waiting for like a 3-hour block, and I could just play it through.
You don't even need 3 hours.
My girlfriend sat and played it with me. Like, we just sat there and because I knew it was a game that would be short and we could just sit and enjoy it together. And boy, when those credits rolled, we just looked at each other and we just were like exhaled. It was like,
dude, that game fucking broke me.
It really is that good, huh?
That game
might I dive in to talk about JRPGs for a minute?
Cosmic Star Heroine?
No. I think my favorite JRPG, Cosmic Star Heroine, is really great.
Fantastic game.
Playing that. Yeah, fantastic. If you don't like long games like Persona, play Cosmic Star Heroine. It's a short game and it's fun. Yakuza 0 is probably my favorite JRPG of the year so far.
Oh, interesting.
I wanted that game so bad. Everything about it speaks.
Well, Jeff knows this. I recently bought a PS4 this year. I got it for like $80 on Amazon.
That's crazy.
And the first game I bought was Yakuza 0, and I had tried getting into Yakuza 4. I couldn't really get into it, but it was also my first Yakuza game, so I had no idea what the fuck was going on. With 0, you kind of get like the backstory behind the whole series, and it's just a blast to play. Like, the combat system's fun. It gets repetitive, but like, you feel like a badass while you're fighting. And the whole set of the game's just cool. And I say it's a JRPG because it does have like the ability points and whatnot. You do have to invest into some stuff in the game, but that game's just a blast to play.
I want to point out something two things in chat real quick. One, Enrique says this podcast is like Viagra for gamers. Look, if we give you a boner, I'm not going to say there's anything wrong with that, Enrique. And
there's a reason John and I keep our cameras on.
Right? I know. Like, don't make me take my shirt off again like last week. And Jeff. And Jesse says the cannery in Edith Finch is my favorite sequence in a game this year. And I will co-sign that.
Everyone said cannery, but man, I loved Gregory in the bathtub.
No. I can't do. No, sorry, I can't talk about Gregory. That was too much. But the cannery is fucking amazing. Oh god, Edith Finch is so good. Jeff, I can't wait for you and Brandon to play this so we can have a spoiler cast discussion about it.
I will play it, I promise you, soon.
Oh, please soon. I need to talk about this fucking game with somebody. I guess the last game I'll bring up, I mean, like, we could sit here and talk for fucking hours about games that we came out that we've loved and have disappointed us. I will close, and yes, Enter the Dragon Punch, you are definitely in on that spoiler cast when we do it soon, hopefully. I guess the last game I'll bring up that is, for me, that's kind of a disappointment was Neo. And you guys know me, I love the Souls formula, love it. But there was something about Neo, the environments were really repetitive. The enemies were, there wasn't a lot of enemy variety. And I just, something about that game just really rubbed me the wrong way. I got really far in it. I have not finished it yet. It's one of the few games I've played this year that I have not finished. And I've finished a fucking ton of games this year.
Well, it's like one of the longest games of the entire year, right?
Yeah, it's a long fucking game.
It's up there with Persona, right?
It's like Persona long, but it's like a 50, 60-hour game. Like, it's not a short fucking game.
I've heard it's like 100 plus.
I mean, if it is, shit, dude, I don't have time for that. But Neo really kind of disappointed me in the sense that, and I also felt like the difficulty, and I know Gabe would agree with me on this. The difficulty in Neo, like it's Dark Souls is good and difficult, but it's fair. Neo actively wants you to fail. Dark Souls wants you to succeed. It just makes it difficult. Bloodborne wants you to succeed. It just makes it difficult. Neo wants you to fail over and over and over and over. Like, this game, there's a difference between a difficulty level being incredibly difficult and challenging but fair, like Dark Souls, and a fucking obnoxious, like Neo, and I felt like the difficulty in Neo, and I know I'm not the only one who thinks this. I felt like the developers of Neo were like, we have to one up Dark Souls.
Dark Souls.
Yes, exactly. We have to, in order to make our name, in order to make our footprint, we have to out Bloodborne. We have to out Dark Souls. We have to be as difficult as fucking possible. And if that means being as cheap as fucking possible, then so be it.
This is also a game that's coming from the developers of Ninja Gaiden Black.
Exactly.
All those games, frustrating, like difficult.
So basically, take the guys who developed Ninja Gaiden Black.
How many people are still working at Team Ninja that were there in like 2004?
Probably like 0.5.
Yeah, probably a lot.
It's like half a person at this point.
I don't even think you could say it's from the same developers as Ninja Gaiden.
No.
It's from the same development studio, comprised of different people.
I mean, Team Ninja is basically a Dead or Alive DLC studio at this point.
Yeah, pretty much. Yeah. But Neo was a disappointment. Oh, look at that. We're over an hour now. Did you guys want to keep going, or do we?
I thought of an idea. I thought we could each mention like a game that we're excited for rest of like one game we're excited for.
Yep, that's a good idea. Brandon, which Overwatch DLC are you excited for?
I mean, this year? Like it's obviously fucking Wolfenstein for me. 100% Wolfenstein.
All right, Jay.
It's probably Sonic Mania.
Oh, interesting choice.
Like a blast. And the soundtrack's really popping so far.
All right, Jeff.
Oh man, I'd have to actually look up what's coming out. I can't keep track of everything, man. What's coming out? I mean,
you got fucking Destiny 2, Call of Duty World War 2.
Yeah, I'm just looking here.
Super Mario Odyssey.
Yeah, definitely Mario. I'm actually really excited for Lego Marvel 2. I really liked the first one. Ni no Kuni 2.
Yes.
Oh shit! Yeah, what a terrible release window that game has, though.
I know.
So bad.
I have a feeling it'll get delayed, so I'm not super worried about that.
Don't bank on that.
I just got just a gut feeling.
That's fair.
All right.
Oh shit! I forgot everybody's golf is coming out this year as well.
Oh fuck yeah! That's in August, right?
Yeah, dude. Shit, I'm excited for that one.
That's that Stardew Valley golf game, right?
That's the Hot Shots
Golf Story. That's Golf Story.
Oh, that's golf. So I'm thinking of Golf Story. Okay.
Yeah.
That's gonna be cool too.
Matt.
Right, not Maddie. Me. Okay.
Yes, you.
Look, I have a lot that I'm looking forward to, and I could name some of the usual suspects like Uncharted or Destiny or Mario, but I'm gonna give two dark horse answers that you just don't hear a lot about. The first one's gonna be Fractured But Whole, the South Park RPG, because I loved Truth, and the new battle system is great. And then everything about I cannot wait. The delays have been killing me. But then I think my surprise of 2017 from E3 is Don't Nod's Vampire.
Oh yeah, that's the one that's spelled with a Y, right? Vampire.
Yeah, Vampire looks great.
Vampire. Yeah.
I watched a 10-minute demo of it.
Vampire.
And holy shit, it looks great.
If we start getting as many vampire games as we do zombie games, I'll be happy because those there's not been enough vampire games, like real, like legit. Yeah.
I would give almost anything for a Legacy of Kain rebirth.
Man,
those games were so fucking good. Those games were so fucking good.
Especially since Amy Hennig wanted to do it, but they just couldn't make it work.
But as far
Matt Piscatella, he agrees with me on the Vampire.
But
I can't remember who said this. I saw someone on Twitter say in Vampire, you can't enter any house unless you're invited in.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I've heard that too.
Vampire.
That's fucking cool.
That is pretty cool, honestly.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
But I think for me, I've got two. I'm gonna say Mario plus Rabbids Battle Kingdom.
That was another one on my list. My God, that looks so good.
I was one of the guys who laughed at the very idea of this game, but then I saw it and I realized it was Mario in the Mushroom Kingdom with it was a tactical RPG. It plays just like XCOM, and I was like, fucking sold. I'm in. I'm all over that. And I would have to say, see, here's the thing. Wolfenstein and Mario Odyssey come out on the same fucking day.
That's ridiculous, yeah.
Like, I don't even know what the fuck to do about
And
that.
Assassin's Creed Origins.
Yep.
For
Like,
all
what the-
people like me that are into that.
God damn, like, so what are we supposed to do? Like, this fall is going to be fucking nuts. Like, I don't...
Pick up Odyssey first, because the other two will drop in price faster.
Yo, I totally forgot about Origins, man. I hate that name, but I know it's still Assassin's Creed, and like I'm not even the biggest Assassin's Creed fan, but
but
I read the Game
yeah.
Informer details that they had about it. It just sounds so fucking good.
Dude,
And they
Egypt...
just came out and said they've changed climbing. It's like Breath of the Wild shit where you can climb rock faces and cliffs and stuff.
That's
like,
so fucking awesome.
it's gonna be buggy and broken as fuck, but I'm gonna do
Oh,
it.
of course it will.
Yeah. The thing about all three of those games coming out on the same day is, unlike the Titanfall scenario, I feel like those three games are different enough genres where they won't utilize each other as much.
I agree.
Hopefully. Like, I feel Assassin's Creed is very different than Mario, which is very different than Wolfenstein. Different than Battlefield, Titanfall, Call of Duty, Battlefront.
Well, I've also I noticed that the Assassin's Creed Origins. I can't say. I'm with you, Jeff. I can't say that name without cringing. The combat looks like Dark Souls to me. It looks very Soulsborne. It's very deliberate. It's very weighty. You're moving around. Like you're not flipping around your enemies or anything. It looks cool. Assassin's Creed Origins looks cool, but I mean, October's going to be fucking nuts. But yeah, I don't know whether to. I mean, for my other game that I'm looking forward to, I don't know whether to say Odyssey or Wolfenstein. I mean, it's one of the two. But it's going to be a great fucking year for gaming. This has already been a fantastic year, and I agree with you guys. I mean, overall, I think the bottom line is that this has been so far one of the greatest first halves, first half years in gaming. And as long as the rest of the games coming out this year hold up, and I don't see any reason why they won't, it's going to go down as one of the greatest years in gaming. Period. It'll be in the top three easily.
It's just a great year because they're introducing new games with like totally new concepts, but they're also there's all of like nostalgia games as well. Like kind of like obviously like people know Mario, and then you like all those like remasters like Crash Bandicoot's coming out next week or is in a couple weeks.
Next week,
and we got the Wipeout remaster like a few weeks ago. We got the Final Fantasy 12 remaster coming out this year. It's also been a really good year for MMOs as well. We have the Morrowind expansion pack that came out, and we also have Stormblood that just came out last week.
Yeah, Storm. Yeah, and honestly, 2018 is going to be fucking lit as well.
Yeah, like it's been insane.
We're entering a golden age of gaming.
One of the great things about this year too is like it's not just the big games, but there's so many different kinds. Like every genre is getting its love this year.
Everything.
There's single player stuff, and they're racing. There's like so many racing games. There's we got Forza 7 coming, Dirt 4, Gran Turismo Sport's supposed to hit, and I think Project Cars 2 is this year as well.
That's right. Yep.
Crew 2.
Yeah.
Is that this year?
I think so.
I think so. Yeah.
Yeah. And don't forget GT Sport.
That's 2018.
Well, it's 2017 until it gets delayed again. But they just doubled down on it like last week and said it's fall. They just don't want to announce the date yet.
I mean, there are even new VR games coming out this year.
VR got a lot of love.
It started with Resident Evil. Farpoint was great. I really liked some of the games. I'm really excited for Supermassive's prequel to Until Dawn.
Oh yeah, The Inpatient.
Moss looks amazing, and I'm so sad. I didn't know that was a VR game when I saw the little.
Yeah, so don't worry, I'll tell you how it is.
Is that a VR only game?
Yeah, it's VR exclusive. I was so bummed. Sucks. I was ready to pre-order that.
But in 2017 is shaping up to be an awesome year for gaming, and 2018 is looking awesome as well. We'll go ahead and wrap it up here. We wanted to do a shorter podcast, and we almost went the full distance anyway. Because there's just, there are more games we did not touch on, like Cosmic Star Heroine and all kinds of fucking games that have come out that are great, and that will come out that we're all looking forward to. But I will say that next week our buddy the hashtagonist. You guys in channel know him, and you know him from Twitter. He'll be back on. Mike Huber is going to be back on within the next month for his third appearance on the podcast. And we've also got Matt Papa coming up, right? The developer of Blaster Master Zero. So he's going to be coming on in the near future. And a couple other things. On Sunday night at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time, the Support Class podcast for Anxious Gamers will return finally at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And Mike Futter from Game Informer and Susan Arndt, formerly of Games Radar, two friends of ours, will be on that podcast talking about our issues with anxiety and PTSD. So if you suffer from anxiety like we do, and it's something that you've dealt with, then please join us because we know how you feel, and maybe we can help you kind of work through that. And also, next week on Friday at looking like we're still trying to settle on time, but looking like Friday at 7 p.m. I am going to host a roundtable discussion with some individuals from Twitter. I'm not going to tell you who they are. But we've got representatives from, African American gamers, LGBT community, female gamers who are going to come on and talk about the challenges that they have faced in the gaming community coming up, and what they think that we as a community can do to mitigate those challenges, and how we can all move forward, and maybe educate us a little bit on the things that they have been through. To kind of support, diversity and tolerance and inclusion, something that's very important to me, very dear to my heart. So we're going to be doing that next Friday as well, and I hope you guys will tune in. We'll tune in for that. But yeah, it's just gonna be good. We've got a lot of good stuff coming up. We're going to get a lot of good games coming out. Glad everybody decided to tune in first tonight. We did a pretty good crowd tonight. Chat was hopping. I always like to see that. And we're going to be doing some giveaways again real soon. But does anybody have anything else they want to add to our wonderful audience?
I have one thing I want to say.
Please.
If you may give me a bit of a humble brag moment.
No, we're good. This has been episode 70. I'm just kidding. Go ahead.
No, I won't be here next week because unfortunately I will be flying to Anime Expo, where I will be officially chilling with Sakaguchi.
Man, I hate you.
The Gooch.
The Gooch.
That's his own nickname. He prefers that.
Are you serious? That's awesome.
Yeah. That's his nickname. He calls himself the Gooch.
Sakaguchi.
That's fucking outstanding.
The AMA series is called Ask the Gooch.
Call yourself the Grundle. You can be the Grundle and the Gooch.
No, but it's going to be great. Don't worry. I will make sure to take pictures of my Final Fantasy 3 signed Super Nintendo cartridge. I'm very excited for that.
If you get Sakaguchi to hold up a sign that says Super Deformed Gamescast on it,
don't worry. I've already got some plans on how to work that.
I will let you fucking host 2 episodes.
Cool. I like it. No, but it's gonna be fun because he's got his 2 new games coming out. His goal is to do to mobile what he did to console RPGs.
Hold on, Jeff, you gotta go, man.
Bye, Jeff.
No, I can wait. We can wrap it up.
Okay.
You guys we can close out. I just wanted to say that's why I won't be here next week.
Okay, no, that's an excellent reason. Get him holding that sign, and I will love you forever. I'm not going to tell you what I'm going to do. But I didn't want to get awkward. But anyway, guys, thanks for tuning in. We will be back. And yes, Dan, Jeff has already hosted. He's already hosted. It's somebody else's turn. But we got a lot of podcasts coming up. Don't forget, Sunday, support class. Next Thursday, we'll be back at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time with the hashtagonist. And the following day, we'll be doing a diversity and tolerance podcast with some friends from Twitter. So please look forward to that. As always, this has been episode 78 of the Super Deformed Gamescast. And it's not always poetry, and we don't always agree, but we always keep it real. I'm not going to let anybody else fuck it up. I'm going to say it from now on.
Something dumpster fire.
Shut up. We're going off the air. That was rude. See you later, guys.